when I first found out about this project, and I was scheduled to go in and audition for the Daniels, and they were very gracious. They sent over the script, and I remember reading it at 1 a.m., and I didn't finish until 5 a.m. And I laughed so hard and so loud that I woke up my wife. And by the time she came out, I had tears running down my face. And she was worried. She says, "Oh my God, you okay?" And I said, "I love this script. And I think this role, Wayman, is written for me." I was like, if you ask me, do I want to win the lottery or do I want to win this role, I would have told you without a doubt I wanted this role. So the next day when I went in and auditioned for the Daniels, I was so nervous, but I thought I did pretty good. And I didn't hear from them for 2 months. So any hope of landing this role that I had went out the window. It was gone. And it wasn't until I got a call again, and I went in and auditioned for the second time. And again, I thought I did good, until I walked out and I saw another actor, another Asian actor waiting to read for the same role. And he was taller, better looking, he was in a suit. He looked like he freaking walked out of the GQ magazine. Anyway, so I went home, I called my agent, and I said, "Man, you know what? I wanted this, and I tried so hard, but I don't think I'm gonna get it." And 3 weeks later, when I got that call, I jumped so high, and I screamed so loud. And that was one of the happiest call I've ever gotten in the last 20 years. So yeah, it was incredible. And I wanted this so bad. I wanted this so bad. And I'm so glad that the Daniels gave me this opportunity to play Wayman, which is incredible because I haven't acted in 20 years. So not only am I playing one character, I'm playing 3 versions of the same character from different universes. And to have that, it's quite an incredible experience. And of course, working with, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Lee Curtis, Daniel, Stephanie, I have to say, it's one of the best adventures of my life.
And he went on an adventure with Indiana Jones one time. You've been on some adventures. In your audition, you said, like, "You guys remind me of Steven." And we're like, who's he talking about? And we're like,
no, but it was funny too because I remember when I went in audition for them, and they were giving me notes as I was auditioning. And it reminded me on the set of Indiana Jones when Spielberg would be like screaming out notes while the camera was rolling. And it felt really familiar. And I think it was at the end, I said, "Man, I feel like I've been, it's deja vu." To be directed by them is just incredible because they're mad geniuses.
Well, I'd also love to speak to just reading the script for the first time because I had the pleasure of meeting the Daniels on another show called Nora from Queens. And that was the first time we worked together, really pretty right before we started filming this movie. And the very first day that I filmed with Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, I was wearing a 1960s dress, like a Chinese dress. And in front of a green screen, they made me speed rap to an Aaron Carter song. And at the end of the night, Daniel Scheinert dumped mud all over my body for
just a big bucket of wet mud.
Literally, that was our first. It was in the script. It was in the script, but that was our first encounter. That was our first day working together. And I remember Daniel Scheinert being like, I want to dump the mud on you so I can control how the mud is going to fall on your body. So I'm just going to do it myself. And there was no shower. It was like, I was like, wow. And that's when I fell in love with them. And I followed them to LA. And, long story short, this movie ended up happening. And so in a weird way, when I read the script for this movie, the wild stuff didn't seem wild at all because I had already sort of worked with them and felt their sense of humor and sensibility. But what really took me off guard and reached me was the heart and the soul of the story. The mother-daughter relationship, the family relationship, the adversary relationship. It just felt so incredibly universal and human in a visceral way, not just like, I'm going to the grocery store human, but like, oh, what is this whole being alive thing and being alive in this universe when there are so many to choose from? What does that mean? And so that was actually more than the hot dog fingers and the rocks and the adult toys. It was the heart.
Toys.
They're for play.
For play! For play! They're for play! For play!
No, when I first got the script up, it completely intrigued me. It just blew me away. It was an opportunity to play a very ordinary, simple woman who's trying to cope with simple things in life, you know, doing her taxes and holding the family together, keeping a business afloat, you know, what we do every day. But then suddenly to discover that every time you make a choice, a universe splinters off. But at the end of the day, what really resounded was this: whichever universe she went into, it was always Evelyn. And when she came back, you know, I think we all go like, if I did that, would it be better? But the same thing is like, if you did that, you wouldn't have this, right? And then as the journey went on, the mother-daughter, the husband, the antagonist that became a confidant, a friend, right?
Like a friend with benefits.
Yeah. A good benefits.
Really
Good benefits.
A friend with toys. A friend with toys.
And then
Friends play.
Never forget ever in your life
Nope.
kind of benefit. Confidant. Please.
we had a blast. I mean, all the different universes had their own story to tell, but I think at the end of the day, it came back to finally, it's like, wherever you are, I want to be with you.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the heartbeat, and then all that music, the incredible music and the pop culture. I'm a dinosaur. So half the time I'm going like, am I looking confused enough for you guys? Yeah, like, just keep that look, okay? You're fine. I think one of the most challenging things is they presented a first time on a lot of occasions. First time I spank my director on set.
What?
Possibly the best cameo a director has ever done in the history of filmmaking. Try and top that, directors out there.
You know, my only job is to do right by her. I didn't understand a fucking thing about this movie. And for me, I don't need to I'm not an intellectual. I don't think about anything. I'm an emotional. And so as long as I understood it emotionally, it didn't matter to me. And I read it once and never read it again. Because it doesn't matter. My only job was to make sure that she was real, that she was a real human being in a real job, which many people hate. And yet this is her pride. This is her movie junket. Like when she's behind that desk and she has a group of people in front of her, it's as if you're doing Lady Macbeth on Broadway. That is her stage. That is her terrain. That is her circus. And she's the ringmaster. And that, I believe that woman goes back or used to go back prior to their love, to a lonely house. And so for me, that was the only thing I needed to know. Other than that, I honestly wouldn't have, I still don't, it doesn't matter. The beautiful part is I don't have to understand anything as long as I understand what I'm supposed to do. And that's my job, and I understood what I was supposed to do.